Well, hi there. You're probably busy because you're probably a small business owner who doesn't have time to do payroll. I know how it is. So I did this video. It's going to be kind of brief, but we're going to go over the basics for Pennsylvania. One of my more popular products is the Payroll in Excel program. You can use it as a small business to do anything you want and really build out upon it to be a resource for not just your payroll, but other needs within your business, like costing out projects, which I'll get into in some other videos later. But for just this purpose, we're going to talk about Pennsylvania local tax. What's going on here? How do you work with this file with Pennsylvania? So let's get into it. As you're entering in information in the payroll file, you want to enter in employee information, name, information, or they fill out a W-4 from this year. Are they married? What state are they in? Pennsylvania? Well, when you're in Pennsylvania, you need to choose a local city most of the time. And the local city taxes are really extensive. It's so complicated that you actually need to look it up. So this is a rare instance where I've provided a link to a resource, a state resource. This is the Department of Community and Economic Development, Pennsylvania website. You actually need to put in your address here. And when you put it in, it's going to tell you what jurisdiction you're located in, what location here, what the municipality's rates are, and it's going to sum up what the EIT tax is, which is your local Pennsylvania tax. It's going to sum up what that rate is. And it's also going to have L.S.T tax, which is your school district base tax here as well. So there's two different types of local taxes based on almost every address in Pennsylvania that I could find. So you do need to go to a separate site and gather this information. Once you gather it, you can say, all right, well, this employee is in Pittsburgh. You have to go back to the payroll file and say, all right, do we have Pittsburgh in here yet? No, we don't. We've just got a bunch of unknowns. So you need to bring that information in. So if we're doing Pittsburgh, you have to enter it in here. But what the rate was 3% for residents, and the L.S.T tax was $52. So you have to put in these information for any municipality that you look up on this website and have to do. So this is one instance where I don't have every single thing in the payroll file that you need. You do have to go harness this information when you search the address of your employee. But Pennsylvania is complicated like that. Once it's done, you can then choose Pittsburgh, and that 3% rate is going to show up, and the L.S.T tax is going to be calculated as well. The person could be a resident or a non-resident. Sometimes you're doing work in a place that makes you withhold, and you need to remit money to where the work location is. That may put you as a non-resident. You can see the non-resident rate would be different. So in order to do something like that, you would go back in here and you would say Pittsburgh non-resident, right? Non-resident is only a 1% rate, not 10, but 1%. And I believe, does the $52 apply? I believe it does. Yeah, I think so. So this is where you would put that information. If for some reason the L.S.T does not apply in your non-resident status, then you could just leave it as 0 here and not put anything in there. But that is how you enter in your local taxes to have this file properly calculate for them. Once you do that, you can start entering in other information like what's your unemployment rate for the company, the state unemployment rate. Start entering in daily hours if you want to put in daily hours for your employees. Then you go into your pay period record sheet where you have information about each pay stub for each employee. You put what their hourly rate is, any additional bonus, garnishments, reimbursements, 401ks, all those things can be entered in here. And then you get a pay stub. And you can just change your pay stub around and see what all the taxes are that are supposed to come out and what the actual paycheck is. Choose the employee name, get a different employee, different pay period. So all the reports are also tied together. And you can do quarterly reports, your 941 report, or your state report over here to the right, which also breaks out your state tax, your local tax, and your L.S.T tax. W-2s, same thing. Local tax gets consolidated plus the L.S.T tax down here, but your W-2 information for all employees, right? One employee. If you want to show all employees, you can just press the asterisk key and you get a look at the entire database of all employees, or you can just choose one employee at a time. Then we have a dynamic pivot that can do even more things, which I'll discuss in other videos. So I just wanted to let everybody know that when it comes to Pennsylvania, you do need to pay attention to the local tax, and it's a bit more complicated than many other states because there are so many municipalities that you could potentially be working with that you need to look it up on the independent site. This site says it's updated about every 24 hours, right? And it refreshes nightly. So if there's new changes in rates coming from those jurisdictions, this is where you're going to get it. And you should probably check your employees at the beginning of every year and then toward the end of every year, just to make sure that you have everything in here correctly and that nothing has changed. All right, so that's Pennsylvania. That's payroll in Excel 2023. We do have a little bit more to handle with Pennsylvania, but other than that, it's really not too bad. If we go look at the Pennsylvania area of this file, you can see that it's pretty easy when it comes to their state withholding rate. It's 3.07%. There's a state unemployment contribution by the employee that is 0.007%. 0.07% is 0.0007. What it is. It actually got raised by 1/10,000th of a percent. Is that it? Is that what it was? From 0.006 to 0.007. So it did slightly go up, the employee's contribution. And then you have the L.S.T tax right here. And of course, the local tax over here. So it's these four things you probably have to deal with in Pennsylvania: state withholding, state unemployment for the employee, L.S.T for the employee, local tax for the employee, and the employer taxes are, of course, your unemployment taxes and your portion of Social Security and Medicare. So all those things, just want to let you know that's what's going on with Pennsylvania, and that's the file. Good luck, everybody. Payroll should be easy, and we are doing the best we can, even in a tough state like Pennsylvania.